Welcome to Done For You Real Estate offices here in Orem, Utah. And my name is Nate Larson. I'm a senior project manager here. And I wanted to take a few minutes today and talk about the Utah market. When I'm actually meeting with my clients, and obviously we're talking about a lot of our out-of-state markets, which are really fun to talk about. We have a lot of Utah clients here, and we wanted to take a few minutes and just address some of the questions that come up about Utah and kind of what's happening. And actually, it's pretty fun and exciting. And to do that, I have one of my go-to guys here on our real estate team here in Utah. His name is Dallin Earl. Dallin's been with the company for quite a few years now. Has some great experience with not only investment real estate, but with the Utah market. And so when I have clients that are either looking to buy a new primary residence or even looking for an investment property, Dallin's the guy that I set them up with. But anyways, we saw some really interesting things last year with in 2016 with Utah real estate. And I'm going to have Dallin kind of touch on some of the highlights for 2016. And then always the fun part is taking some time to look at 2017. We're at the end of March right now. And things are just starting to heat up, in terms of the real estate market here and buying and selling and listings and things like that. But we're going to kind of put Dallin on the spot and talk about what he thinks the rest of 2017 will look like for Utah. So to get started, Dallin, could you just kind of give us some highlights about 2016? What happened? What did we see? We know prices obviously went up, but what did you see?
Yeah, so for real estate, 2016 was an awesome year, especially here in Utah. Overall, we had an average of about 6% appreciation throughout the year. And that varied from county to county, but overall it was about 6%. We had homes were selling super fast. The average days on market for a home was about 14 or so. Like, things were just selling super fast. As long as it was priced right, you'd have offers, often multiple offers, if it's an extremely desirable home. Median home price in Utah right now is right around $295. What else, Nate, about the 2016?
So it's always interesting when you're listing a property. I mean, obviously, if you're a homeowner listing and trying to sell, obviously you're trying to price that property right so that you're starting to get bites on it, and showings. And then, but how long did it take to sell properties last year? And the timing of it, because I know spring, summer, really kind of the hot times for real estate. But what are some of the time frames that we saw for days on market with some properties?
Yeah, so during the springtime, we were seeing homes were sitting on the market for about a week before they went under contract. As long as it wasn't ridiculously overpriced, we were getting offers. Things slowed down a little bit in the summer months and in the fall and the winter. Utah, just because of the nature of the Utah market, whenever school's in session, we have less home sales. When school is out, people are more willing to sell, uproot their families and move. And so that early springtime is when people are really starting to look. And then as soon as school gets out, is when things start to get really crazy. And then they slow down again. But even in the winter months, a home that's priced fairly, at CMA value, is still getting offers within 14 days, if not sooner.
What about foreclosures and short sales? So I always have clients say, hey, if I want to look for an investment deal in Utah, what's the likelihood of you going out and being able to nab or to put them in front of a foreclosure or a short sale at this point?
Yeah, so that market is really, it's very different from what it was in 2010, 2011, 2012. We're just not seeing short sales or foreclosures out there, at least not many. For example, right now in Salt Lake and Utah County combined, there's about 15 bank-owned homes for sale. And the thing is, because home prices are going up, banks are fixing up their properties. So you don't see very many dilapidated foreclosures, which is where we were finding a lot of the deals in the past.
Mm-hmm. So bottom line, if a bank has a foreclosed property, they're really not turning it out to auction. They're fixing it up and just trying to sell it themselves. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're trying to sell it like a regular seller. So they'll go in there and they'll put new paint and new carpet.
Gotcha.
Every once in a while there's one that needs work, but usually the work that it needs is equal to the equity you're getting. Mm-hmm. So there's not much of a gain there anyways.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. And days on market, so people are putting their home on the market if it was halfway decent condition. priced right, they're starting to get offers tick in pretty quick, and they're under contract fairly quickly then.
Yep.
So I would assume, last year, and I would assume that going into this year, the majority of the buyers that we see are conventional or FHA lending, probably a little bit less on the cash purchase side. Is that typical in Utah?
Yeah, that's just because most of our cash clients are going out of state because the purchase prices are a lot lower.
Yeah.
With a median home price of $295, it's just hard to pay cash for a home out here.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So hot market, we saw increase in value, medium home price coming up. 2017 is kind of exciting right now. It's kind of an interesting market. We're seeing a lot of the same stuff that we saw last year, maybe just with a few different tweaks this year though, right?
Yeah. So 2017, I expect it to do almost the same as what 16 did. We're seeing all of the same trends in the market. Building is going at about the same rate as far as like new construction and stuff like that. I'm seeing homes go just as fast. Interest rates are doing about the same thing they did last year, where in the wintertime they went down, and then springtime there was all this talk about interest rates going up, and they went up a little bit, but then in the fall they went back down. And so as the U.S. economy as a whole continues to improve, I do expect interest rates to go up. But when I say go up, I mean like not above a point. Like I don't think primary residence interest rates are going to go above 5%, and I don't think for investors that's going to go much above 5%.
Yeah. So I mean, right now money is still fairly cheap. I mean, as far as a rate on a mortgage, I mean, it's not the best that it's been, but it's really still pretty good.
It's still super low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still barely above inflation.
Yeah, exactly. Which is really kind of key. But as far as a factor with real estate, we do anticipate those rates, climbing. Housing demand, though, as far as supply and demand, what does that look like? I mean,
it's a seller's market right now.
Okay.
If you've got a property out here that you've owned for several years, my guess is the value has come up significantly, and because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of sellers out, there's not a lot of listings, and there's a ton of buyers, then we're just seeing homes go very quickly, and sellers get to dictate their own terms often.
Awesome. That's cool. So I just a personal experience here. My parents live in Lehigh. It's actually where I grew up, but they're getting ready to sell their property, and we pulled the stats, and this was like a week ago. But there was in Lehigh, there were only 15 properties listed for sale that weren't under contract in the town of Lehigh that were priced under $300,000, which is actually for my parents really exciting, because that means when we get that listed, which we'll do in a couple of weeks, we should have just offers rolling for us, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's really great for sellers right now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as buyers go, what that means for them is it just means we're getting pushed to the outskirts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If we need to stay under that $250,000 purchase price, that just means that we're getting slightly older homes, or a little bit further south, a little bit further north, a little bit further west and east, and all of that. But it's still a good time for buyers, in that home prices are continuing to grow, and I don't expect that to change. Mm-hmm. It's just a different kind of home that they're able to purchase today compared to what we were able to get in 2011 and 12.
Cool. It's a fun market, interesting times. So bottom line, we're going to see values. We at least forecast values to continue to increase. Any guesses on a number, do you think? Did you say that already? Or
I expect them to do the same as last year, which is about 6% appreciation.
Okay, 6%. So good news for homeowners. I know Utah really kind of has a forecasted shortage of properties, and I think that spans across all three general markets. So you have renters, existing homes, and then you've got new builds as well. Yep. I mean, builders right now, I mean, they don't have sitting inventory. They're moving off the shelf pretty quick as soon as they build, right? And so yeah, I mean, everything is lined up for a really strong market in Utah. Very interesting times as far as inventory, supply and demand. Rates are slowly creeping up a little bit, but still a great time if you're looking to buy, to try and get in, because of the potential outlook long term for values in Utah properties. But for sellers too, great opportunity as well. And so we just wanted to give a quick update and check in with our Utah audience and our Utah clients here to do that. One thing in parting that we'd love to do is talk about the market. If you have more questions in depth or want to talk about that, please give us a call. My direct phone number is 801-204-9085. We can chat about outside markets or Utah market, which is actually a fun thing to do right now. And then the other thing, if you're an existing homeowner in Utah, one thing that Dallin could do is just pull an official CMA or current market analysis on your property. If you just want to see what comparables are out there that scale in with your home and to find out the value of your home, give us a call as well. And Dallin's more than happy to do that, right,
Yeah,
Dallin?
of course. Yep.
So, all right. Well, we thank you for your time and enjoy our business with you, and looking forward to our next interaction. Thank you.